Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be playing some more MTG Arena today, and we are going to be playing Historic with my current favorite deck, which is the Niv Mizzet Reborn. I have a few other videos posted, hopefully you've checked those out. There's a few tweaks made to the deck as of recently. Geckos and I had went through and looked at some stuff. He took the liberty of trying to adjust the mana base a little bit today, as we've had issues not hitting like the two off sources that we need as much, which is the red and the white, or if we're hitting them, like we're hitting them on like tap lands a lot. So he went through and did some adjustments, changing out a couple of the check lands for some shock lands, which I'm in agreement with, because I feel like we gain enough life between, you know, like Uros and like Deafening Clarions, even Krasis, things like that, that kind of help us stay in the game a bit longer than other decks that would be shocking themselves. Post board that changes a little bit too. Like we have like Knight of Autumns that can help us gain life, and Vona depending on the matchup. So I feel like it's a good change up. We also cut a Angress Rampage. We have a Tyrant Scorn in here now, which is good. I think this was a good call. Geckos had suggested that this is what we would kind of go with like a one-off of here. It hits a creature in like almost any matchup that you're going to be playing against, and the bounce clause can be good too. It can, you know, protect any of our big cards, like, you know, bouncing a Niv and then recasting it for more card value is not bad if they're trying to target removal. So hey, bouncing a guy, drawing like 4 cards and dodging your opponent's removal seems like a good thing to do. Went back up to 3 Grafdigger's Cage in the sideboard. It's just good against all the matchups, and most people are playing, what I should say is what I run into most off of anything is like Sacrifice or Arcanist or something, which this is very good against. And most of the time we're just swapping these out for the Uros, bringing in some extra little threats that we have to help us win the game, to compensate for losing one of our win conditions in Uro. So here we are with the deck again. We did make it up to Mythic top 500 initially. Things haven't gone exactly our way necessarily, but we're at the 95 percentile, but we can get back up there pretty easily. We have plenty of time for the end of the season. Hopefully qualify for the standard Mythic Invitational that'll be coming up in October. Without any further delay, we're going to get into some historic ranked and see what variability has to say. Right into match number 1. Always take that play. Let's see here. We have red-white. That's good. Pretty much the colors we need. We don't have any ramp, but what are we playing against here? Blue-white control? Most likely with this. If that's the case, then our hand's not great. So we could consider mulliganing based off that information, but being that I have the lands that I need, I'm at least going to keep this. This deck can top deck pretty well, so. Ban. Okay, so we're going to grab a blue here. Nice little Uro off the top.
Looks like it's likely some sort of banned ramp control deck.
Notably, instead of playing Uro here, I could have taken the opportunity to Maelstrom Pulse this to slow down the ramp. But decided to go with our own ramp. Okay, so now I might 2 for 1 it, unless you like cast something off this here, maybe?
Yeah, that seems strong.
I think we could do both of these though, right? So yeah, because I'll still have green and black. We can do this. We throw down a Fabled Passage. Throw down a Swamp. Get this here. feels pretty good. Then we're gonna pass through.
That's savage.
So I'm going to, I think we have all the mana sources we need.
It's like a straight green-white ramp deck, probably with Mirari's Wake. Since they have Kahira, that means that they can't have Ulamog in the main. So they're probably ramping into Ugin. Something like that.
Yeah, we're going to hold on to this Rampage as long as possible here. That way if they do have that pesky Planeswalker that you don't want to have to deal with, we can at least try to make them get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. Okay. That works. We have Uro in the yard now. Nice. So we can actually get rid of the Angel because it has a 1 or less mana cost, and then we can destroy this with Maelstrom Pulse. If I do this, I still have 2 green and 2 blue. Okay. Alright, not knowing what's in the opponent's hand here, we're not in a terrible spot. Well played. Okay. I could actually save exiling my other Uro if I just rampage here and make him sack his Planeswalker. Shock that in so that way I can cycle the Triumph on opponent's turn. Seems good. Alright, 31 turns. So we have an option, we could just jam a Niv Mizzet here, but they have Wrath of God, so that's probably not the greatest play. But next turn they're probably going to cast Baffling End, in which case I could just bounce my Tyrant or my Uro back to my hand and dodge that and get more value out of it. And then I could Niv Mizzet, and if they Wrath of God Niv Mizzet, it's not a big deal. Like generally he's drawing me cards, so that kind of gives me the advantage I need there. So here we're just going to pass turn. And you can create your 1/1 token. Okay. That Thought Erasure off the top was huge. Getting rid of the Wrath of God was great. Yeah, we got there at a healthy 50 life total. That seems pretty good. Vito seems okay. Vraska seems good. So does Knight of Autumn. And Kai is not bad. I mean, pretty much everything here is pretty good. I mean, Vona's good. Thoughtseize could be good. I don't know if we need to pick apart their hand. If we have answers to most of our stuff, but Scarab God's less good. Less good. They don't seem to be running creatures, or at least non-token creatures. I don't think Deafening Clarion's going to be as good if their game plan is to execute off of that. The 4/4 Angel, sure, it clears away their little 1/1 tokens, but those aren't like an issue at all, so I don't think Clarion's necessary. Klothys isn't great. Chevil's not great.
How about Rampage?
Yeah, Rampage is not great. I mean, Krasis still draws us a bunch of cards. It does get shut off by the non-token card, so it's just like a pay X mana.
Probably gonna cut that.
What's that?
You mean Solemnity? I feel like he's probably gonna cut Solemnity.
Yeah. Tyrant Scorn's a little, I don't know, it's 50-50, but I think I would rather cut the Tyrant Scorn and maybe have like 2 Thoughtseize in here.
Yeah, I like the Thoughtseizes and I like the Vona to bring in too. Maybe you could cut a Kaya. She's good at taking out tokens, but
Yeah. Some configuration like this is probably correct.
I don't know about Extinction Event too. Maybe Kaya's better than Event.
You go to 1/1.
Like, or at least like, yeah, one.
I'll take the Kayas. I mean, they at least like gave me life. She can like exile things and do some damage. She can also just get rid of those like tokens, and I don't know, she does a few things. Whereas Extinction Event is pretty narrow in this deck or in this matchup. Okay, we got some colors and lands that we need. So we can do this into this, into this, into this. Seems good. I think partially what helped was turning off some of the opponent's ramp last time. Getting the 2-for-1 on the enchantment's pretty nice. Maelstrom Pulse just keeps proving to be such a great card in this current format. Didn't see that coming. Just having a plains untapped. It's like a very uncommon thing. The only thing here is like I kind of want to just grab this for a blue. I guess we can grab that depending on what the opponent does here. Like if I need a veto, I can veto, but I kind of need another source of green or black since they're both occupied by this if I want to cast Niv Mizzet next turn. So if they play something that's worth countering, I can grab a blue. If not, I can just say, whatever, that's fine, and then cast Niv Mizzet on my turn. Like this, I don't know. It's not bad. They can call like Niv Mizzet, I suppose. But I mean, really, that's only like one of my win conditions. Yeah, I don't think I want that to go. Okay, so we didn't get max punish. That's pretty sweet. Oh no! Oh god, I accidentally clicked cycle. That was like the worst thing I've ever done in my life. So that feels incredibly terrible. I was trying to click off of the card and it brought the card up and I clicked cycle. Something that I would probably do in real life is accidentally cycle a land I meant to play. What does he do when he ults? Return all enchantments from your graveyard to the battlefield. That seems pretty decent. And he can ult. Oh, I forgot to silence my phone. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Ooh, an Elder Gargaroth. Rest in Peace allows me to keep all my Uros on. Baffling End doesn't really do anything. I don't care if you take an Uro or a Knight of Autumn with it. So it's pretty close between Rest in Peace and Elder Gargaroth. They can ult Calyx next turn in order to bring like Rest in Peace back and Gideon's. So there's that as well. I think we're gonna take Gargaroth. It's like I have so many answers for enchantments that I don't think I want to do that. Oh yeah, we keep those on top. You see a Maelstrom Pulse coming, you don't want to scare that away. Seems right. Could have -7 first and got Gideon back. Another card that does a lot here. Alright, so I think I'm going to play Knight of Autumn here. Get rid of Enchantress's presence. It's just giving him gas, which we don't want him to have. Question is, do I just go 3 turns after his face, or do I go after Calyx? Probably after Calyx. I don't want him to be able to ult, just like undo any sort of destruction that I cause. And then I think I just want to leave up some counter magic, to be honest. I don't really need to do much else here. Nothing else on board is like posing a threat, and I have like a secure way of winning on the board right now, so as long as I can protect these things, we're okay. Opponent knows that I have a Dovin's Veto, but maybe you can't like play around it, so I don't care about that card. Can I? Yeah, I can still activate Kaya and take this out. You did that too late, I suppose. Like that we can counter. It just gets annoying that like they can sit through 9 attacks without issue. Notably, if the opponent wants to run out 9 lives, they won't be able to make another token with Arden Veil to protect their Planeswalker. Yeah, you're going to do what you're going to do with that, so that's fine. Could also pulse these and get myself some 3/3s. Opponent opponent could have some like sweepers on them. I do have a veto, so if they have one, we're good. If they have two, well, they have two. Okay, so I can pulse those next turn. Though they're going to get a lot of value off that currently. Excellent. That's what you like to see there, folks. So probably Vraska minus on the Solemnity, and then I can Maelstrom Pulse the 2 Enchantress Presence. But first we're going to go ahead and attack opponent for 9. Hey, look, we found some treasure. Oh, just infinite. Infinite. I mean, this deck's kind of cute. You know, it's funny. Okay, well, fortunately, I've already used both my pulses, so that's a win. Let's see what opponent has. Alright, so we get rid of that. We don't need that. Sure. Sure. So I can just minus Vraska here and take care of the Sigil of Empathy. Or Empty Throne, sorry. And then there's Presence. So there's both of these. Like, this is going to give him more cards if he draws one. Same here, but...
Can't you trample over with the Crisis and win? Oh, 9 lives. Gotcha.
Let this nice opponent cast their 0/4 wall. I mean, unless they had top deck exactly what they need. They had 2 lands in their hand, so not mightily concerned about what was going on. Yep. Seems like the right thing to do. Sure. They exactly top deck Wrath of God, of course. That's the way things go. Oh my god, I have to pick for all these? Vona's great here, as long as he doesn't draw another board wipe. Of course. Like, why wouldn't you top deck another Wrath of God? Makes sense. Good news is if I can get Kai up there, Kai is just gonna wind up winning me the game eventually. If opponent top deck third Wrath of God in a row, I don't know what to do. Pass. Is this in his hand? I can't tell.
If you hover over it, doesn't it tell you what zone is in?
No. I'm not really sure. It says public information, but like either way I would know. So that's interesting. Okay, so I think we're just gonna... If we get rid of this, he can only block one of the two there, so... And plus I can't really do damage because of this anyway, so... Alright, so we got 3 counters. We only need to get 6 more. Okay, so unless he wipes the board, then next turn I'd be granted victorious. I have so many lands that I have arrows. That's interesting. You got a lot of that. Makes it really easy to keep track of all your lands. Sure. Sure. So, you say good game, and in the spirit of playing a competitive game, yes. But overall, it wasn't a good game. Like, opponent's deck just didn't do anything. They just drew some cards and watched me go off a lot with more powerful cards. But hey, that's a win in the bag. It felt like a long game too. Okay, well that's a win in the books there. Uh-oh, I think it's doing that weird, watch this, graphics. Boom, back to normal. I don't know why it does that. It's like something with the ultra wide setting, but who knows. Anyways, let's get right back into the next one. Jeremy, 2020. What do we have here? Okay, so we can at least Thought Erasure on 2 and try to set up to find a forest. But we have removal, we have a Niv, we have early play. We can keep this. Worst case scenario, we get Thought Seized and we lose like the Erasure. But probably playing, yeah, that's where that was coming. Gotta love these Witch's Oven matchups. I would probably, like in other situations I might have like played this and then dropped the Uro the following turn, but being that they only have 3 cards in hand, that seems like the solid thing to do. So if this is all the opponent has to work with right now, I'm okay with that. Buys us time to set up like Maelstrom Pulse and things like that. Attack for 0. Do it. Alright. If we hit an untapped green source, we can do Uro and Cheville in the same turn. That's not an untapped green source, but we can do this and maybe see if we get like a Thought Erasure, which we did not. But we do have a Niv that we can drop next turn. That seems pretty good. At least we have an extinction event in our hand. One to the top, not great news. I guess that's the thing. That's unfortunate for us. But I think playing Niv Mizzet here is correct. It slows down the board. Opponent doesn't have anything else of note that they can really do right now. I could Extinction Event for, odd and get rid of these two guys. A sacrifice in response and do some shenanigans there, but still leaves the Dreadhorde Butcher and leaves me pretty vulnerable to getting beat down. So I think correctly, I'm just going to drop Niv here. Alright, things that we like to see. Removal and life gain, that's good. Let's see. They're going to do 2, 2, and 2 here. So either way I block, I lose my Niv Mizzet. Actually, I think that's still a game. Yep. Because now they just sacrifice the Dreadhorde Butcher and do 2 damage to me. Yep, they got it. Okay, so we want to bring in cards. Scoring's still pretty good. Could bring in that last Extinction Event. But for what is the question? I could cut. Oh wait, I forgot about the last Grafdigger's Cage. Everyone running 2, I forgot I got 3. I think something pretty close to this is fine. So I could definitely bring in the other event, but I kind of like the Tyrant Scorn having a cheap way to remove pretty much any of their creatures. Okay, this is a pretty rough hand, but we're going to keep it. At least I can cast a Shafil and get something on board. Gotta love cats. Nice thing is we top deck a Kaya, which is great. We can just get rid of the cat, or an oven if they play an oven. Alright, so we get the oven. That's good. If we don't try anything major, we can just crisis for 2 on the following turn. Draw a card. We're not going to attack here. So if we do this first, and then Fabled Passage, we can cast Niv Mizzet on our next turn. Worst case scenario, opponent has like, you know, some way to deal with Chevelle and they kill our Kaya, which is possible. Like even if they have like claim the firstborn, they can get through and kill Kaya, which is pretty big. But hopefully being able to cast Niv Mizzet without being too far behind is not the worst thing here. Yeah, we'll take that. Nice. Clarion's nice to see. Yep, Clarion's definitely what you want to see. Now we get the cat. And we pass. So I need a red or a blue. Ooh, this is pretty close. Do we want the Vraska or the Maelstrom Pulse? The The main idea when we're like boarding creatures around in here, minus the Crisis here against this matchup too, is not having creatures that cost 3 or less. It dodges like Claim the Firstborn. I know some decks will play like Act of Treason, but I haven't seen it nearly as much as people playing Claim the Firstborn. Could have held on to Crisis to cast a bigger one, but I have 2 Mizzets in my hand, which does almost the exact same thing as a Crisis here. And this is fine. We got rid of most of their board, we get rid of their Mayhem Devil, and we just get Scarab God back into our hand anyway. I wanted a double creature here. That way, if they play a creature or bring back the cat or anything like that, and make a sacrifice with Priest of the Forgotten, we can sacrifice Knight of Autumn instead of Scarab God. Okay, opponent scoops. Scarab God's just been really good for me, so we can't complain with that. Obviously, this deck has a ton of hate for this matchup, which is good for us, considering I run into this deck most of the time that I'm playing. Alright, so another awkward hand here. Okay, we're going to keep. We'll see how the opponent starts off. Let's see what we draw. Okay, so we got a red. It's fine. We need a green if we want to grow spiral. We need white if we want a deafening clarion. So I think we're going to take a green. So the plan here is we're going to grow spiral at their end step. We can put a Fabled Passage onto the battlefield. Actually, we're going to put this onto the battlefield. We put this onto the battlefield. I could do Extinction Event here to prevent myself from taking 3 damage from the Dreadhorde Butcher, which is what I'm going to do. This takes care of Mayhem Devil. Obviously this will take care of everything else. That's fine. Alright, so we're just going to get a 2-for-1 here. Or a 3-for-1 rather. We'll keep that up so we can Tyrant Scorn here. A really great top deck would be Kaya. We can get a Woe Strider and a cat right out of the yard. But we do need some sort of gas besides lands. Should have sacrificed the Fabled Passage in response to them playing the Mayhem Devil. I forget to do that sometimes, and it doesn't feel very good. Just getting shocked for taking your own land away. Might as well be playing a fetch land.
Should be able to do both, right?
I have 5 mana.
Well, oh, you already play a land. I guess you get tapped against it, but then you're taking a bunch of damage. If you pulse next turn, oh, never mind.
You can sacrifice 1, 2. I think I'm going to Kaya here. I can Kaya plus, she goes to 4. I mean, I guess it's going to die regardless of what I do, if I do it that way. But if I kill anything, then they're just going to be able to get the Woe Strider back too. Actually, yeah, if I pulse, hit Mayhem Devil, by tapping this, I can plus there, get rid of those two. Yeah, it doesn't accomplish as much. Knowing that I'm going to lose Kaya anyway, I could tap, take out the devil, but I can just also block. Currently I'm like a Niv Mizzet away from like kind of pulling ahead here. The fact that they can scry though a decent amount is not great. So in any way that the opponent wants to kill this, dependent upon what they draw here, they're going to have to full out swing. So I can trade it like a Giganta for a Giganta or Mayhem Devil or whatnot. That hurts a little bit there. Let's see, I'll take 6, 7, 8, 9.
Can you afford to block the devil?
Yeah, because I'd take 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No.
Yeah. Makes sense. Because you can strip pulse it next turn.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, do I only have one green source? Yeah, good thing I didn't fire off that growth spiral. Could have ended real bad for me. I think I'm dead next turn though. Opponent's gonna hit me for 5, and then they sacrifice the Dreadhorde Butcher with the Woe Strider to do 3 to my face, and that's game. So yeah, I probably should have taken out the Dreadhorde Butcher instead of the Mayhem Devil. I guess it'd be about the same because I'd be taking 3 from him. +1 is 4. So yeah, I'd be dead either way. Alright, opponent got there. We did flood out a little bit. Not really hitting any of our big cards, but pretty close matchup other than that. A second green source would have been huge if we had 2 green. Again, it's usually like a mana problem that we run into in the deck, but the second green source would have allowed me to grow spiral, potentially finding something a bit more impactful in the matchup. Alright, I'll give it one last ride here. Can't win every game, you know. Though that is the goal. I want to win every game. You know what? We're going to keep it. Not the worst draw. Well, that doesn't feel good. Might be a quick L for us here. If they have Henge, okay, if they don't. I was like, if they have Henge, it's risky attacking with Steel Leaf Champion first, in case if I hit spot removal. Sweeper off the top. It's about the only way we get out of this. Otherwise, we just dead on board. Yeah, because even if I Niv and I block here 5, 6, 7, so they got it.
A little bit of mono green beats there. Is that what I just walked in on?
Mono green can do it.
Probably want the Knight of Autumns just as put a little like fatty or gain life if you get behind. They usually play henge too, so. Crisis is kind of slow. Kaya's probably bad.
I don't have much to bring in outside of them though.
Oh, I thought you were still looking for spots.
I think there's a conversation I could possibly move some other pieces around, but okay. So don't keep like a 5 land, 6 land hand against mono green. Nice. I could just drop the Scarab God here, or I can go ahead and Extinction Event and get rid of the Ronus. That's fine. I'll take back Ronus. Can't take back Ronus, but opponent will attack cleanly here with their 4/3. Oh, they didn't attack. I definitely would have. I can't block him. Well, I guess I can block him. He's got hexproof, not protection. That is the thing I forget about with that guy. We got white, we have green, blue. I think I want a separate source of white. Oh, my mana disappeared. That's awesome. Oh, I just passed on that. That's cool. If opponent has like a primal might, we're probably just gonna lose. But Okay. That seems like a reasonable thing to do.
That was nice.
That's pretty nasty.
Boom.
Yeah, I was surprised the opponent didn't take Giganta out of my board when they had or out of my graveyard when they had the chance. But I guess they didn't know like the full impact of what Giganta can do in this deck.
Yeah, the times that you can cast or tap Giganta to cast Niv are just insane, because then you have all your mana to cast everything you get with Niv. That's usually the recipe for the end of the game.
Yeah, especially when you have a Scarab God out and you have like 2 activations of Scarab God and you get to play a Niv Mizzet for free. It's pretty hard to come out of that. Kind of slow hand again. But we'll give it a try. We have like all the colors we need, like, and that's like the hardest part about this deck is obtaining the colors you need. So we will lean on probably a Swamp Forest and then like a Plains Land, or maybe one of these. It's pretty open. Like we have a lot of routes we can do as long as that's not the first land we play. Of course they have you. Of course, little elf. But doing green-black sets us up for pretty much anything that we want to cast, being that all of our other lands come in untapped. Okay, this is an absurd hand. So we want to get this red-white down. If for some reason we top deck a Deafening Clarion, that'd be fantastic. But we're going to take 7 here. Maybe 6. Alright, 7. So unless we actually obtain a sweeper, we're probably going to lose this. I could put down a Knight of Autumn as a 4/3, and that way it can at least like favorably block anything there. Instead of me just taking like 3, 6, 9, yeah, instead of me losing next turn. Okay, so sweeper here for like, you know, anything would be good. So no sweeper, so that's game. Can't do anything from this point. Green got there. Okay, so key notes of this matchup: if you're playing against mono green, just mulligan until you have a sweeper in your hand. With the exception of going down to like 5 cards. But yeah, overall, kept slow hand against mono green. Not a good choice. Crushed that little like kind of prison deck that they were playing. Didn't really do much, and had a pretty close matchup with Sacrifice. So 1-2, you know, not the greatest, but the deck still plays well. It's fun, and hopefully we can find a good balance where my mana base isn't so screwy in the future. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Please let me know if you have any suggestions or anything that you'd like to add. Please feel free to do so in the comments, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.